I spent 1 week living with a stranger on a random island, and it was awesome. To get to the island, first I flew into rainy Vancouver, then I took the big ferry from Horseshoe Bay to Nanaimo. After that, I took a bus to another ferry terminal and took a short cable ferry to my island. I met the lady who was hosting me, and I also met a dog that she was dog sitting. She was really nice, and the home was so beautiful. It had a huge garden, was right by the lake, and I also learned that a celebrity lived nearby on the island too. That was kind of crazy, since somehow I came to a random island in the middle of nowhere and ended up in the same place as the celebrity that was in a super huge movie. Small world. Anyways, in exchange for staying on the island with the lady and for meals there, I would spend a few hours each day doing work in the garden and around the house. All the work was super fair and enjoyable. I did things like trim branches, dig holes for new trees, weeding, and more. And each day I had a lot of time to explore Denman Island. On my first full day there, I went around the island on the free bus that they have, and I got the full tour. The bus driver was really friendly and made conversation with everyone on the bus, and even some people just walking by on the street. He pointed out some cool spots around the island to me as we drove, and it was really nice. I stopped at the center of town and learned some of the history of the island at the museum, and I just walked around a little bit in the center of town before getting back on the bus. I also spent a lot of time while I was there with the lady I was staying with, and I got to meet her son too. One day we went around the town to the art gallery, to a local cafe that had a mini grocery store for locals, to visit a friend at her pottery studio, which was also a hairdressing studio, and we went mushroom hunting for chanterelles as well. The thing I noticed most was everywhere we went, we saw somebody that the lady I was staying with knew. The feeling of community was so great to experience and really enveloped the island.
Unreliability of our ferry. Wing and a prayer, on a wing and a prayer. Wow.
Sandy. Just going past your place, you like to hug them on one hand. A brother and two sisters. Oh, woohoo! Here we go. Yeah.
One of the cool things about living on an island is the view of the ocean. It was always nice to see the ocean when driving around, and one day I went for a walk on one of the beaches. When I was walking home from the beach, I also saw so many blackberries just on the side of the road, and it was really nice to be in a place where you're reminded of the connection to nature all the time. Speaking of fresh food, that was another thing I loved about staying on the island. Every meal we had, we would get something from our garden, carrots or shallots or tomatoes. Eating fresh organic fruit straight from the garden right outside was an awesome experience. On one day, I actually took another ferry to a nearby island that's a little more touristic. I got to explore that island with their free bus. I went to the sandy beaches there, and I hiked around too. It was a lot more busy than my island, but it was cool to see the difference. The next day I went for a hike around the lake that was in our backyard, and it was really peaceful. Once I hiked all around, I got back to our dock and went for a swim. On my final full day there, I went on a hike with the lady who had been so kind as to allow me into her home and into her life. Every day we had spent so much time talking, and I really learned a lot from her. We walked to a really cool viewpoint, and I just felt so lucky to have spent the week with her on the island. The morning right before I went home, I got to experience the full community spirit of the island one last time at the farmer's market. I'll see you in the next one.